go into a discussion of what black magic is and how it works. What black magic is the thing of binding people. Okay. And, you know, I have studied the occult for 30 years. I do not do black magic. What I specialize in is breaking things, which doesn't make me too popular. Because people pay giant money to get people bound. Because they don't want their husband to leave. They don't want their kids to do a certain thing. They want that promotion at work, so they're trying to control people. This is why people are binding people or putting hexes or spells on people. They're doing everything, and they spend giant money for this. And then these people feel like something is wrong because they want to do something, but something is stopping them from doing what they want to do because they're tied up in knots.
Can I stop you right there? Someone
Yes.
is saying controlling someone is same as energy vampires, right?
No, because they're not sucking your energy. With spells, what they do is bind you. They're trying to take away your free will. Okay, so for example, let's say a guy is with a lady and they've been arguing a lot and he wants to say goodbye. So the lady doesn't want him to say goodbye. And maybe they should or maybe they shouldn't. I'm not going there. But what some people will do is try to bind the guy to force him to stay with her. Now, he wants to leave, but he's being prevented from leaving. Some people would say that's a good thing because he needs to, well, okay, you should enter a relationship when you want to. You should have something called free will. Okay. Now, if I like a person in my life and I look at that girl over there and go, oh, she looks very nice. I think I want her in my life. Maybe I need to be nice to her, buy her some flowers and try to take her out to dinner. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I should not be home burning candles and doing potions and doing this. And okay, maybe that's kind of like cheating. Okay. Now, some people would say, no, that's not cheating. That's just not, because you're taking away a person's free will. That lady did not choose you. You bound her to you. And a lot of times, you know, we're going to talk about the dark side for a minute. Okay. The book of see, in the light, you're covered by the Ten Commandments. On the dark side, you're covered by the book of the law by Aleister Crowley. It's a great book because it only has one rule. Do whatever thou wilt, as long as you do it in love. But is love but it's not from their point of view, it's from your point of view. So a lot of people say, I don't do bad spells, I only do good spells. But their good spells is making havoc and destroying people's relationships, lives, everything with their great spells because it's from their point of view. We have questions.
Yes, we have a question. From Maryland. If someone put a hex on someone else decades ago, how do you reverse it?
Okay, okay, let's talk that. We're going to go into that word, reverse. We're not doing reverses. Okay. Reverse candles should never be used. And reversing, okay, that is like someone fired a shot at you, so you're going to turn around and fire back. That's called collateral damage, and you hurt. A lot of innocent people get hurt that way. When you feel like somebody is trying to do something, you don't know who it is, so you're just going to burn this reverse candle. A lot of times, there's a lot of, just because a person doesn't like you, just because your boss is threatening to write you up, doesn't mean that he put a spell against you. Maybe you need to be written up because this is your 4th time being late in the last 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying, don't you? You can't be, see, it's magic against magic. If there's magic on the play, then that's different. There's 2 worlds. There's the physical world and the spiritual world. We're supposed to stay in the spiritual world. We're not supposed to be reaching into the spirit world to go after our enemies or get favors done. By doing that, that is when you get those penalty flags on the play. Okay. Because you're calling in forces which from the other side. And when you do that, that is when people are trying to do hexes or spells against you. And if you're into that, let's say what these people are supposed to do, which they never do, is back to our example. The guy was trying to leave this lady, and she wanted him to slow down. So she bound him where he couldn't leave for a while. Then the guy decided to stay. The spell is supposed to be released. Most people don't want to go through the hassle of paying somebody to release the spell. They just leave it.
People are asking this. Okay, and then she says, not reverse, wrong word. How do you stop it?
Okay, stop it if okay. You pay the reader. The reader is, which I got a lot of bad press before. Okay, and I'm going to get bad press again. The reader is a representative of the person she's working for. She's either working for the people up there, the people here, or the people downstairs. Okay, so if you want something of that person, she doesn't have the power to get your husband not to leave you. But she has powerful friends. She go and talk to her friends, and their friends say, yes, I can do that. So you're going to pay that reader $200, $500, and your husband, voila. Okay. Now, you paid her, but you didn't pay those other people who literally did the work. That's the reason I was talking earlier about you pay twice. You pay the one person for doing the work, and you pay the other people for doing the work. Okay, so you pay twice. Now, the spell is done. Now, how can you protect yourself from this? That was the question, right?
It says, let's see. How do you stop it?
How do you stop it? If you think somebody is doing something, the basic thing that we should all carry, we're going to say it again, is black tourmaline does not break hexes or spells, but it blocks hexes or spells. Okay. It blocks. Blocking is a good thing. To break it, you got to go to a light worker, someone. That's the reason you need to know that magic word. When you need somebody help, not only me, there's other light workers out there. Just go to a metaphysical bookstore or whatever. You say, I need a light worker. I think somebody put something against me. I need a light worker. Because light workers they break stuff. But not everything. The secret is you have to be an innocent party. You can't throw rocks and then you complain when people are throwing rocks back, right? If you're innocent and somebody put something against you and you didn't do nothing, then they will break it, or they have people upstairs who will break it. Okay, that's what I do. And your $500 spell is broken for $20. Sometimes not even that. You get what I'm saying? Because the person didn't do anything. And if the guy wants to leave, he has the free will to stay or to leave. Okay. You cannot bound a person into a relationship and force a person to stay in a relationship they don't want to be into. Okay. I knew some people when I lived in Austin who, if they want a promotion at work, they're over there burning candles, doing all this stuff. Okay, you're not supposed. If you want a promotion at work, you're supposed to be at work working hard, not home burning candles. Okay. And then as the guy told me, hey, I got that promotion. It's not my fault that the guy got in an accident and something bad. I had nothing to do with that. I don't know anything. Okay. Okay. You're guilty. Okay. And remember, you're going to pay twice. And if you're doing bad stuff, remember the penalty for doing bad stuff is not twice, 3 times. Okay. So, he got that job, but within a year, he got fired from the entire company because he was not qualified to do the job. He wasn't at work doing what he needed to do to get the job. He was at home doing all this crazy stuff. He got the job for a second, and then voila, it was out of there. Okay. If you want to, you got to, you got to do things the right way. So many people today want to do all these shortcuts and everything like that. This stuff comes back and bites you in the butt every time. Okay. So, next question.
It says, how do you know if your family has been cursed? Which...
Okay. The first question I always ask people when they say, I think somebody put a spell on me or whatever, I always ask the famous question. Why would somebody want to put a spell on you? Oh, because I don't know. I guess they don't have... Remember, spells are very expensive. If a person's going to go and spend $50, $100, $500, why would they waste money to put a spell on you? Because they just had an extra $50, $100, $500? Okay. And sometimes they will say, oh, because I think somebody put a spell on me because this person was married and I broke up their relationship because I want... Okay. They know what they did. Then you can start the digging. Okay. And checking again. If you go to a right person, or it is easy to check to see if there's something against you. Once you find out if there's something against you, then you got to do the second thing to see, are you innocent or guilty? And what I do as a service, because I do readings, like most people, but I don't. But I do not want a reading show. My show on this network is about knowledge. But as a service, you got my number and my email address. If anybody want to know if there's a hex or spell against them, it only takes 10, 15 minutes, and I can answer that question for $10, $15. You can find out. But before you waste your $10, $15 and say, is there something against me or not? Because I'm not saying that is just to find out what's going on, if you believe. But again, why would somebody want to put something against you? If you're not doing all this crazy stuff, then people should not be doing crazy stuff against you. And just because your boss doesn't like you doesn't mean that your boss put a spell against you. Okay. People have the right not to like you. People have the right to divorce you. People have the right to leave you. If you did something, but you know something is strange, if you and your relationship was just doing wonderful, and all of a sudden he just jump up and leave you and run off with your best friend, you might say, maybe something's kind of fishy around here. Okay. We was getting along so wonderful, and then all of a sudden he just jumped up and ran off with my best friend. I wonder what my best friend was doing. Maybe it's worth that $10, $15. You get what I'm saying, don't you? To find out what's going on. And if there's some funny stuff going on, as I said, if you're innocent, it can be broken. If but to protect yourself against this, if you carry that black tourmaline and that clear quartz, it makes it extremely hard for them to do that. So I told you about 2 stones that you should be carrying at all times. Mm-hmm. What you can do is, there's lots of metaphysical bookstores everywhere. You can find these 2 stones everywhere. You can buy them online. Mm-hmm. If you can't find them, or at your local bookstore, they're very expensive, this and that, whatever, I'll make it easy for you. I have a limited supply, but for $10, I can send you the 2 stones you need. Just throw them in your purse or your pocket, and this will, if you think somebody's doing something against you, it will block what they're doing. Okay. It's not breaking it, it's blocking it. Okay. And if somebody has got you tied up in knots and you're trying to do something, and every time you try to do something, you feel like something is holding you, you need those 2 stones. So you go and get them from your local place, or if you can't find them, just text me or say, hey, Lynn, I can't find them. Can you send them to me for $10, and I'll take care of the problem. Because we don't need to put up with all this BS in life. This is called drama. And so many people today is into drama. They won't let people just enjoy their life and just be in peace. Mm-hmm. People just want to make everybody miserable.
Tracy says, leave people alone.
Leave people alone. And if that guy is dating your best friend and they're a great couple, you say, boy, I really like that guy. Don't go and steal her boyfriend. There's a lot of guys out there. Find your own boyfriend. You shouldn't be stealing other people's boyfriends. Right. Okay, and if you're into doing that,
true, you're
going to get it. Okay. So, what questions we have?
That's it. That's good for now.
Excellent. Good. So, this is what we need to be doing is don't let people tap into your energy. Don't let people put hex or spells against you and your family. Stay out of the BS. And people who are doing that, and when you hear one of your girlfriends say, oh, I put a spell against this other girl and I did this, you say, but I would never do that against you because you're my best friend. You know you're the next one on the list. Those are the people you need to be very careful of. Because if they're putting spells against everybody else, it's just a matter of time before your name comes up and you're going to get bit. Okay. And we don't need to go there. So we went over, real quick, we went over about energy vampires real quick. It has nothing to do with somebody biting you. It has nothing to do with, people turning you into a bat or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Energy vampires is just a technique of tapping into a person's energy field and sucking you dry of energy. And they feel so great and fantastic, and you feel terrible. Do not let people do that. Okay. Black magic. You shouldn't be going around tying and binding people and trying to force people not to do what they don't want to do. If you have someone and you care for them, you should try to be nice to them. Mm-hmm. If you want that promotion at work, you should be working hard to get that promotion. You should not be home lighting candles and herbs and doing all this stuff and making rituals and everything. I have nothing against Wicca and whatever, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything.
Okay, we have a question.
Yes.
Can witches remove hexes?
A witch?
Mm-hmm. Question.
Anyone that know how to do spells know how to break spells. The problem is with a lot of these people that doing spells, they will tell you, oh, somebody put a spell against you. I know how to fix that. We can put a spell against. So you don't want to get up in what is called psychic warfare. Okay. If somebody's shooting at you, the answer is not, oh, let me go and get you a gun so you can shoot back. This is just making the problem worse. And if you're shooting back at someone who got 20 years of experience and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose that battle very bad. And once you start firing back, you are then guilty. Okay. So if somebody's doing something against you, if somebody's trying to steal your husband or whatever, you just need to pray to those people upstairs, go to a light worker, get someone who got your best interests at heart, and take care of the problem that way. So.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
Can your children suffer from the black magic you are doing?
Okay. That's a tricky question. When you want something done, if you're doing spells, the people, it's hard to go upstairs and say, Jesus, I want to steal my best friend's boyfriend. He's not going to help with that. You might need to go downstairs for that. Okay. So, they don't work for free. What do you have? The saying goes, you can have whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay for it. Okay. This is how people get in big trouble on the other side. Because if you run up a big bill, you got to pay. And if you can't pay, it's just like when you owe a drug dealer. If you can't pay the bill, there's other ways to pay that bill off. Okay. And that's how people get their children in trouble, because if you can't pay that bill And if you have a young baby or that kid or whatever, well, they'll just take that as compensation. Okay. So you got to be careful. If you're asking for things, the magic question is, like in a restaurant, before you order it, ask the price. If you don't go and eat everything and then say, the bill's $120. I didn't know it was going to be that much. I thought it was going to be like $35. Okay, if you ask the price, you know how much the bill is. If you are doing, and you have the right on yourself to do things to benefit yourself. So if you want to do things to help yourself and to help your family, as long as you're not causing evil on other people, you're not hurting anyone. I'm not saying that you can do Wicca as long as you're not hurting no one else. It's not a problem. As long as you're doing it for yourself and there's no damage. But you got to know, if you want prosperity, if you want this, if you want that, and whatever. That's one of the main things I do in the valley. I do cleansings. And half the times when I do a cleansing and when I go to a house, I do a reading on the house. And they're saying they're seeing shadows in their house. And I say, what happened 2 months ago on this date? Oh, I bought this candle for protection. Well, that thing that you asked for is in your house. That's that shadow you're saying. Okay. If you ask for something and you get it, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I ask you, well, this thing in your house is saying it's protecting the house. Do you want it in the house or not? Okay. If you want it, it says it's protecting the house. I can keep them here, or if you don't want them, I'll get rid of them. Okay. But that happens, and over 50-60% of the time I do cleansings, is something that they put in their house that I end up getting rid of. Okay. So, yeah.
There's a question that I really like. If you don't believe in curses or evil, does it still impact you?
Okay, I can answer that real simple. If you don't believe in cancer, if you don't believe in diabetes and high blood pressure, then you don't have to worry about it because it won't affect you. Okay, that's very simple. Okay. We understand each other, right? You can only catch diseases if you believe in them. If you don't believe in them, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, if you want to be that naive, dear, there's a lot of things people are doing that can destroy your life, your marriage, your job, everything, and you won't have no idea that you've been bushwhacked and slapped across the back of the head. You have no idea, dear. Okay, but if you're praying to people, you're supposed to be praying for protection. You need to have someone who is protecting you. Everyone needs to have protection. So ask yourself, who is protecting me? Remember, you can ask up there, you can ask here. Some people want to ask down there. That's a personal decision, but you need protection from somewhere. Yes.
Yeah, and then it just says, what about purchasing crystals for protection?
Yeah, crystals can cover you in white light. And white light makes it harder for dark forces to go against you, but it's the best protection. Like I sell a lot of sage, and people want to know how to smudge a house. Mm-hmm. I tell them, if you want to cleanse your house, you got to do a prayer that talk about to get rid of all the negativity, get rid of all the this and that and whatever. But you got to do it in somebody's name, okay? Because your power is limited. There's beings that are a lot more powerful than you are. You choose whose name you're doing it in. That's a personal decision. I'm not going there. Okay. We all have our favorite who they want to call on. And what else is there?
That's it.
I think we're almost out of time. We only have like 5 minutes left.
5 minutes.
So remember, if you don't need to order from me. Everything I told you, you should be able to find in your local area. You just need to use some black tourmaline. It's from Brazil, but a lot of stores carry it. Mm-hmm. And you just need to find some clear quartz, and you put the two together and just carry it. And that will help you if you believe you're having these problems. If you cannot find it, then you just need to text me or call me and say, hey, Lynn, I can't find it in my local area. Can you send it to me for $10? And I will send it to you.
Yes.
If you say, I think somebody done something to me, and if you can't find someone in your local area, then you just need to text me or write me, and for $10, $15, I will let you know, yes or no, there is something against you. No, there is nothing against you. It's just a simple answer. Mm-hmm. And if the answer is yes, then I can refer you to somebody or what needs to be done. Okay, but you do not have to live in fear. Life is too short to be biting your nails living in fear.
That's right.
You don't let these people pull you down. You got to walk with your head up proud, right? That's what it's all about. So with that, so this was not a scary meeting. I didn't mean to offend anybody, because I'm not saying people that do spell work is doing bad work. Remember, you can do cantations on yourself for you and your family all you want, as long as you're not calling down evil or on other people. So if you're doing cantations for your health, or for your this or that or whatever, or for you to have a better life or day, as long as you're not leaving, but it's always viewed from the other person's point of view, not from your point of view. Remember that. So